practice. More practice reading energy. And it might be that simple, you know.
I don't.
That's what I was just going to say. I don't know is a good place to be right now. I'm okay with that.
Anything else?
Yeah. I also want to honor that I know I'm discovering ways to learn all of this. And I'm not yet completely aware of all of those.
And what would it be like when you were?
I don't know.
Good. But there's an
But I do.
expectation that you will.
Yeah. I trust that more awareness will come.
Here's my point, I think. Like there's an expectation that those will never happen again. You'll get to some point that there's an expectation that that won't happen.
They won't make any mistakes, you mean?
I don't know, whatever that is, like whatever that was.
Yeah.
Associated with concurrence.
Oh. Okay, so can you reframe that for me then?
So as I heard the words, right, it had me look at a expectation, that a disappointment that you should be beyond this point, should be over, like that, like that shouldn't happen to me. It's
right.
like, what if
sometime I should know better. There's the old S word, eh? Yeah. Gotta love those old patterns, eh?
Yes, they have a lot of momentum.
Yes, they do.
And I don't know, I haven't determined. I don't know. I don't know how to work with them that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we work differently, as we build momentum in different ways, we're taking energy from something and putting it somewhere else. And we don't know the outcome, I'll call them consequences, but not with a negative association to it. But sometimes there are negative consequences as to that shift of energy from something else into something else. Think of it as like transitions.
Mm-hmm.
So there's my word for the day is transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's practicing transitions. If we only know from what and to what is seems so unclear,
Mm-hmm.
just in my experience.
Yeah, what seems to be clear or unclear isn't necessarily so. It just seems to be.
Yeah, and an old pattern could be to have it clear,
Yeah.
which is just another version of knowing. I know I'm in control. That's it. Nor do I claim I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning, Nikki. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Morning.
Morning. So for me, then patience shows up as an ability to sit in fuzzy clarity and be okay with that.
How would you measure or assess or support choices, like you're like making choices, choosing, going for, and not like a call it a layer below true choices.
Not sure what you're asking, Jesse.
More specific choices than core four.
Hmm.
As if we can find ourselves in a place that's really nothing out there really bothers us, right? We're not responding to it. We're above it.
Hmm.
It's as if rather than fight, you've got to a point where you're no longer fighting the current. You could call it just flowing with it. Now, flowing in a different way, but just, or maybe you're not flowing, it's just above it, and there's just not the resistance. And but it's like the next phase of the choices, like the drive, the fulfillment, the passion.
Hmm.
Like this, where the joy comes from, like the joy of doing. And our learning of timing in this phase, in this transition, in this period. Probably in the best way can cause a lot of confusion.
Hmm. Hmm. It's interesting that these dynamics are showing up in interactions with people who are in physical proximity to me. There's something there about physical energy fields. And there might be some self-protection going on. With respect to my physical energy field and who I allow into it, or whose energy I allow into it. That's really interesting. Because I'm curious about all that. And I'm wondering now if physical proximity makes any difference, really. You know, quantum entanglement suggests that at this very moment, I'm actually tweaking with energies on the outer edges of the cosmos at this moment. So it's like, okay. And that's a really good example of concurrence. You know, whether there's awareness of that or not, it's the capital T truth. So it's okay.
And so what does that mean to you in this moment?
Well, to me, it means that in any moment, I am affecting all that is.
And
In one way
always
or
are.
another. Yeah, and always am. Yeah. Yeah.
Always have been and always will.
And that's humbling and empowering at the same time.
Yeah, just depends on which one we focus on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or not. Hmm. New insights into the current reality. Hmm.
It's as if those challenging moments, those challenging times, it's where we see really how far we've come.
Mm-hmm.
Or not.
Yeah, and the interpretation the interpretation of or the assessment of the current reality comes into question.
Mhm. So it comes into question, but it's in comparison to what you want.
Yeah, but what I want comes into question too. What I'm realizing is that the assessments aren't very accurate.
Well, they're just pieces, they're just information. They're
Yeah.
coulds. It's when we attach to them, they're not very good. Or we limit them, right?
Well, it's it's when yeah. Attaching to the assessment won't allow the could.
And we sit in a choice about it, questioning our choice. I don't think we really question the choice. I think we question the outcome that's not in the choice, the outcome that doesn't appear to be in alignment with the choice.
Yeah.
Because timing again is there, I would say. And all we have as a reference point is disappointed would mean, oh, there was things I did in the past to resolve my disappointment, and I'm trying not to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
From that quote, old pattern, right?
Yeah, it's just an avoidance.
I don't know. But I do know it's just feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe growth.
Yeah. I'm getting more comfortable with I don't know.
Yeah. And it sure sounds like it should be real easy.
Yeah.
it should be.
Well, it's getting easier.
And I say, like, under different stress. So we're working to work, I don't know, inside of existing structures, not ours.
Right.
Sorry, less of ours. But still from a community, from a society, from a culture. Still the old pattern, the old structures.
Mm-hmm.
There's transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And where we ask, is it mine? Is it theirs, or is it both of ours?
Could be all three.
Always is.
Yeah. I'm sensing that there's special skills that are required of navigating transition.
Special and special, yes, and special is in only some specific context.
Yeah. Maybe unique would have been a better word.
It's different skills than what we're conditioned to use.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
At this time, not forever, not permanent, but just this time, today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it is. It's like, and we've handled transitions in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We all went from adolescent to a teenager, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
child to a teenager to an adult, an adult from a single independent individual to a married couple, a family, career, retirement, death, right? All simple 5-second transitions that on average take 84 years.
Yeah.
Thanks to oil, over the last 150 years.
Mm-hmm.
My point with that is it's relatively new. No. Not necessarily baked, right? Like baked as a cake, like baked from reality, from the truth or the fundamentals of time. Probably more in alignment with truth. And as we get aligned with truth, we find that misalignment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can ask any, let's call it any one of the guru creators, right? One of the questions that I always hear is, why aren't they millionaires? Why don't they manifest all the money in the world?
Mm.
Why don't they just go to some beach somewhere and just kick back and do nothing? Because that is what the people asking the questions that aren't in this situation, that's what they quote think they would do.
Mm-hmm.
So they're projecting onto them what they would, if they went and did that, if they created that, they would be, more of them would be completely dissatisfied with that outcome because it's from a old projection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when people challenge, judge, ridicule, blame choices, passions,
Yeah. Yeah.
powers, gifts, greatness, is because they say, well, it's that expectation. It should be like mine. Yours should be like mine, is behind the scenes what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you
And
just
not what they're
identified the
living,
fundamental.
not what they're living now, but their ideal living is what they're comparing it to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're judging you from a situation they haven't achieved yet.
Yeah.
But from their ideal fantasy land. I don't know which one is more crazy. I mean, I really do, but
Yeah.
I can only be responsible for me. And then when it's not turning out the way I want it, potential's there, not turning out the way I want it, then question my clarity,
Yeah.
my skill, my special or unique, whatever word you use to describe it.
Yeah, you just identified a fundamental of transition. Old structure, new structure. Old energy, new energy.
And so as we put focus into the new one, there's still tension from the old one.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And there's huge chunks of the new one that are still intangible.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that they're not being created. It doesn't mean that they're not manifesting. But at the moment they're manifesting in a form that's intangible. Into a form that's intangible.
As long as they keep being fed the energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
It's oscillation 101.
Yeah.
Problem solving 101. Which, best I can tell, is the only structure our society knows.
Yeah.
Which meant it's the only structure we've been taught.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it better, worse, valid, less valid.
No, it doesn't.
It just creates space when there's awareness of it.
Yeah. You know, one of the greatest challenges I've faced in the last couple of years has been around past referencing.
And on this call, you've been the one that's done it the most.
Yeah, well, exactly.
That's the disadvantage of the older. You've got a lot longer of cemented patterns.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about we can put change as one new energy we're going for.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever is resisting change could be conformity.
Mm-hmm.
Holding on to what we have, holding on to it's just good enough, holding on to how it is. Those are conflict, competing structures.
Mm-hmm.
So the closer we get to the change or do the change, the tighter the tension to the conformity becomes.
Yeah.
That's without changing the fundamental bottom underlying structure, which is what choices help with,
Yeah, yeah.
which is what choices do. Best I can tell. And as much as we would just like to wave our wand and our choice come true, and there's got to be a problem to fix if that isn't happening.
Hmm.
What does Nikki say about breakthroughs? They're just around the corner.
Hmm.
Doesn't, maybe that makes it a little easier. Maybe going back to the old patterns would be easier.
Hmm.
Just giving up, throwing in the towel, walking away. Maybe that'd be easier. Well, I wonder, is it easy we're after? Easy
Yeah,
I'm after.
not necessarily.
Well, maybe unaware. That's what we want at a deep level,
Mhm.
right? Which, if you think about play is easy.
Mhm.
Doing what we love is easy.
Flow is easy.
Mhm. Transitions are not.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
Mhm.
following the concurrences through the maze.
Mhm. Yeah, new entanglements, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm reading one of Fritz's structure, his organizational. Damn it, I forgot the title of the book, but it's his organizational structure book.
Mhm.
And it appears to be a lot where Chris got a lot of his information from.
Mhm.
And one of the things, if we think about it from an organization's point of view, that brings in a new tool to be effective, to do things quicker, right? To be more efficient. Yeah. So if you think of it, we bring in a new app into the organization. At first, it is not more efficient. It is actually less efficient. So he says, oh, we don't think as businesses, as designs of organizations, we don't think about the reduced capability that adds. If you think about it, it's true, because look, that transition period, right, is learning, right? It's trying something new. It's moving away from the old into the new, and that takes a lot. It slows things down.
Mhm.
And so more and more, it's like but then it says that, so you got a lull, you got a dip in it, and then it picks back up, right? And then eventually, if you hang in it long enough, right, and you build the culture around it, it's like people begin to use the tool, then you see the efficiencies.
Mhm.
There's always competing structures, competing tensions, competing conflicts, because we are just so entangled with them. It's hard enough to see our own, let alone anyone else's. We can begin to in specific moments, and if we work and be around people long enough, we can see their tendencies.
But I also heard Chris also say that he's a work in progress. We all work in progress,
Mhm.
even himself, because that's where comparisons come from others that want to be where he is or what he's achieved. But he also had all the failures. He had all the disappointments. He had the loss. He went through a death experience. And he didn't lose it once, he lost it twice, if not 3 times.
And if not another one.
Yeah. And that was also something that he also had an unconscious fear that he was going to lose everything because it was never enough. Because that was the driven force to prove that he was enough. So he just acknowledged that. He let go of that.
And it doesn't mean that it won't come back.
Yeah, that's the journey.
Yeah. We hope, and in our own, we don't want it to, but I mean, geez, we think about it, we don't see how far we don't see our pattern first. And then second, to think that we remove it, right? We get out of it, that it's not deeper. It's just, no, it's the same thing. It could be, it may not be, may be done, it may not be.
But even with his success, and even when he did get the end result, he still wasn't fulfilled because he's driven. That was where he had to really go deeper to realize that he has to be satisfied in where he is now. And when any of the results of anything that he's going for, he's going to be neutral. It's going to be neutral. It's not going to change him. It's not going to change you. Because this is what happens with people in general. Just in general, that when they're going for something, they think it's going to change them. It doesn't change you. If that's the goal, if that's what you're going for, you're going to be disappointed.
It's an oscillating problem solving.
Yeah, it's just there is the oscillating, going back and forth, back and forth. So the breakthrough for me is the awareness. But also, most importantly, to take the action, to let go. But if you don't acknowledge it and see it and speak it, it's like you're just hiding. So it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of bravery to come up front and say, I see myself in the mirror now, but I can love me, where I am and where I'm going. And I don't, when it comes to the tribe and the support and the team, that I think helps tremendously. But also, I've also come to realize in this situation, if they don't follow me, that's also going to have to be okay. Because the leaving behind people that don't want to go on a journey with you, like I'm going on a journey tomorrow, I'm going on a huge adventure, I'm going overseas. I'm going to do a 3 or 4 day event there. I'm going to smash it. I'm going to meet up with my friends. They've got a holiday house there. We're going to have an absolute terrific time. I'm going to see my other friend that had a baby for the first time in, trying for 6 years. And I'm going to travel the whole of Greece, all the islands, go to Venice. I'm just, yeah. And I'm very grateful for people to come along with me that want to enjoy the ride. They want to celebrate with me. They're not in competition. They're not comparing their lives with me. They don't want anything from me. They just want me to come and be there because, yeah, they know they're going to have a good time. I know I'm going to have a good time. So that's basically the breakthroughs. And also the guilt, I think for me personally, the guilt of not taking other people's problems. And make it mine. It's not for me to take any more other people's problems. That's my breakthrough, because for me to do this is a huge, huge celebration for me. I'm going to get lots of pleasure, lots of enjoyment, lots of fun. I'm just going to enjoy, like full out. But I also know that, there's others that you have to think, well, they haven't got it as I've got it. But have they also made the decisions and choices down the long, along the way? Yes, they have made decisions. Was it decisions that they could gladly say, okay, yeah, I'm going to make a change, or I'm going to make at least a difference? No, they didn't. Because they did have the opportunity to change. They did have the opportunity to know what they needed to do in the process. But it was just easy because they took the responsibility on other people. The other people must not meet their needs because they didn't take that responsibility. So this is where you got to realize it's got nothing on you. As Craig says, you play big or go. Play big or go. You can be as small as you want. You can think as small as you want. You can have whatever.
Well, you will get whatever.
Yeah. And that is true. Hey, you will get what you want. If it's negative or positive, if it's something you don't want, if you're going for that, you're gonna get it. I mean, nature doesn't stop. It keeps growing. It keeps evolving, keeps moving.
And we think nature was made for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, only if you're special do you think that.
Yeah, isn't that?
Yeah, and I've been considering that it's nature that's actually making us.
Well, you'd have to find the beginning to be able to answer that question. And we do have a beginning, or as far back as we can say, that's where we came from. And from that perspective, it sure supports it.
I really like the fact that you can go into the root of it and pull it out. That you're not going in circles. You just go deep and then pull it out. And I get the root because we're all picking the fruit from the tree. You got to dig and then just pull it out. And then when it's pulled out, it's out. Then you can start from there because you got to thank all the versions that brought you to where you are now. You've got to celebrate that. You've got to celebrate all the versions that have brought you here. This is what it entails, that you're here now. And that's what matters.
Did the fires throw some wrenches in your trip?
What's that mean?
The
Fires.
wildfires the wildfires over there.
Mm, mm. Is it going on what? My trip? What do you mean by that?
Maybe they're not around
If
where
I-
you're at.
What?
Around Greece, there's a lot of wildfires.
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
yeah. And also France. I'm going to France too. So they also have a lot of things happening there right now too. Mm. Mm. But I'm going to be in the south of France. So. Mm. Mm.
Well, good. Have a wonderful trip.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have a blast. I'm going to have a great time. Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, I have, mainly it's clients, but more importantly, it's friends that I have really can say that it's so enjoyable being with them and having to just have fun. Like it's going to be it's so much fun. It's laughter. It's just being silly. And yeah, it's just, yeah, really good to be around that. And especially the environment where we're going to be. It's a very beautiful place. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah. Looking very forward to it. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Mhm. So it's your word for the trip.
Hmm?
And what is your
Oh,
word for your
that's a
trip?
speaking. Yeah, I'm going to have a speaking event.
What's your word for
Celebrate.
your intention? Yep.
Yeah, celebrate. Celebrate this version of myself. The progress of looking and thinking that there was 75% of my old and 25 of my new. And then I went into 50-50. And then I made it like, okay, either way, still good. And now I can say it's 75 new and 25 old. And then when I get to London, I will be completely in my 100% because I've recoded that already. So it's done. So I'm showing up really quite spectacular in being the new version of me. And I'm going to observe that because it is like, that's what it is. You observe something like so spectacular when you're around people and influence and doing what you love. And, there's just pure openness of, let's go. And people want to be there. You're not forcing anyone. You're not telling them to hear you. You're not telling them anything. They just want it. They want it. They pay good money, and they're going to be just enjoying their time. Yeah. Yeah. It's a practice, but you got to put it into practice also. You can practice all you want, but you've also got to put it into practice. It's got to become a lifestyle, not just a dream or in your head. And for me, it's my end result. So I'm basically living it. And I'm coming with intentions not to prove anything, not to impress anyone, not to make some sort of big, you know, spotlight, look at me. No, I'm doing what I'm loving. And that's it. That's my intention. And the satisfaction that I get to walk away thinking, job well done. I did it. I made it, and that's all that matters right now.
Yes.
No
and
matter what
next.
anyone says. Anything like this. So,
Yes, and next.
yeah. Mm.
Such a difference in the question. Between
What do you-
what are you doing? Why are you going? What's your trip about? Right? Just tell me all
Mhm.
about your trip. Completely different than what's your intention? Like, what's your word for the trip?
I'm not following you. What you meaning? Yeah. My word is to celebrate it.
Mhm,
Celebrate me.
mhm.
To celebrate
And
others.
and how so it's like that answer
Yeah.
is so much fuller, so much more relevant, so much more purposeful, tells me so much more about your intentions than if you were to explain everything about it, or here it's
Yeah.
like a new structure versus an old structure.
Mm.
So you could think about if someone was curious, like about your trip, what it was, what you were doing, and it's um, like all the information we think is important
Mm-hmm.
from an old structure,
Mm. Mm.
and what it's more of a, it appears to me to be less genuine. It's like people really don't give. I mean, they do, but they don't really. It seems as if the only reason they want to know is so they can be jealous about it. And that's, or compare, right? Or say, wish that was me, or, and all like that result is not being able to celebrate with you.
Yeah, and that's what made me play small. That's exactly what made me feel small, because having to know growing up and allowing me to know that if I can buy my own clothes and my sisters can't, it started there. It started there. And then I had, you have to sneak in the house because you bought something for yourself. And then they would take it from you without asking. I'm just saying, this is where it started. But yeah,
For sure, there's, like you said,
it,
the
it
root.
starts, it
There's a
starts there.
starting position, and it
Yeah,
probably
I
didn't
mean,
even
my
start
sister
there.
could start early on,
Yeah.
but it was, the whole concept here is feeling when my mom had 5 kids, but I was the one that was abandoned. She gave me away. Yeah, I was taken away. I wasn't looked after by her. I wasn't nursed. I wasn't breastfed. It's not a victim, but I wasn't. There was another woman that looked after me. Mm. So that could have been then. It could have been in the womb. knowing that she didn't take care of herself. She was lazy. But was she lazy? No. She had 4 other kids. Or 3 other kids at the time. You know, you can make all these stories up. Make it all up. Like, and that's what you can do right now. You can make it all up again. Because you stay in that old structure of what you thought somebody did to you or didn't do to you. And then that gives you the excuse, or you feel that you need to just work on that wound constantly. Oh, because that person left, or this person did this person did that to you. But now you're in charge. You can blame people all you want. It's not taking responsibility. I choose to take responsibility. But you create the wound around the identity of knowing there's 6 or 7 or 8 sabotage. And that is very hard. That's the hard part, where you have to know that that is not your identity. You created it. Mm. And that's where you enjoy what you love now. Whatever you can say, I love doing this. That's the doorway. Time doesn't heal. I realized yesterday, time doesn't heal. It's growth that really heals. Yeah. It's choices that really heal. It's not time.
The transition.
Yeah.
The lesson.
And it's hard when you have to face yourself. Like, you know, it is hard. It is hard. It's a hard truth fact. But not everyone wants to know the truth. And that's going to have to be okay too. But that has been my choice.
Too.
It's very hard
too.
Oh,
It's
absolutely hard.
It just different timings.
Yeah, very hard. But that truth for me has been as I can remember, I've always wanted to know, like, is this like what it is? No, there's more to what is happening here. No one's powerless. We're all powerful. No matter what the circumstances, everyone's powerful, and everyone needs to, you know, just like with kids, they're all you can't enable them. You can't do everything for them. They've got to figure things out for themselves too. They've got to make mistakes. They've got to fail. They've got to, you know, throw attention, emotions and all that. They've got to figure it out because they are. Mm. And it's also not hard it's not easy when you see your child going through something, and it's very difficult because their identity of feeling so inadequate, or they're not like this and not like that, and people told them this and that at school, whatever, you know, you can say, not important. It's not important. What does your heart say? What do you choosing, or what you wanting for the process and the outcome? What would you like? And I think it's wonderful when you can, give that person a choice. At least give them the choice to choose.
It's just, I went back to you asked me to explain it, right? In the question, it's like, oh, what word would explain what word, what really it was like, what emotion wraps up your trip? And the kind of, it's something we practice, right? We practice it here. It's unorthodox to practice, if you will. It's not common out there yet. How important it would be if when we collaborate and we work together. Not the details, not the things, not the materials, not the what are we doing, but what emotion, what are we, what word wraps it all up. And
You know, somebody told me that was very, very interesting about, you know, with having to know where, for example, my son can come home and he can have and express his emotions, let's say like that, you know, outbursts, let's just say. And what a beautiful place it is for him to know that he can come to a safe place that's his home and he can express himself. Because that's very important that he can have that outburst in knowing that he does it because he knows that it's safe here and I'm strong enough to take it. Strong enough to take it. And I'm not going to close him or shut him down or what's wrong with you and you can't have that mood and you know, get in your room or take something away if you don't behave. All these threats or all these assumptions that you want to control because personally you're not strong enough to take on that emotion. So what's important here is that he has that choice that he can come and know. And I'd rather allow him to have it here than have it outside. Because outside is not fair. People are not fair. They'll keep reminding you of that outburst, mistake. So it's the knowing not everybody needs to have access to you. You've got to be very selective, especially when you're going higher and you're getting more sensitive. You got to and getting more in tune, and you know that this can affect you very badly. So you got to know the people around you going to hold you in knowing that they're strong enough.
what an interesting contrast, as you were explaining. It's like a child is completely different than a spouse.
Yeah.
It's still the same mechanics, right? It's still the same opportunity. It's still the same. Yet, I'm sure that each of us organizes differently towards it. Definitely, I can see from a child, it's like, oh, we don't take it personal with a child at all. Now, some could, right? But it's a different, you don't because you create the space. Parents that don't would take it personal and not create the space.
Yeah.
Most, especially a mother, it's easier that way, right? Just because of the connection. But then when we think of a spouse, it's exactly the same thing. It's just, oh man, do we, or roommate, right? Is it the man? Is it just, but it's a close quarters of living together, right? And they're completely different. Yet we just make them different. the same benefit, right? As you spoke about, Nikki, as the sun, it's the same benefit. It can have the same benefit. It's the same need.
Yeah.
We just orient to it. Wow. I just was put attention on the personal, like the personal attack between the two. From my experience, what I see, what I've experienced, and how it appears in relationships.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at myself and all the contrast and all the defending and protecting was purely just to protect the inner child of me.
Mhm.
It was just replaying what I experienced, and through that is what I experienced. And what actually happens with the charge is the stronger feeling is the thing that you're going to give into.
Yeah.
That's the resistant part. So that's where you know now
Yeah.
that you are charged.
Mhm.
The where the pain is more severe, that's where you're going to stay, because that's what you know. But break free from that and get to a place where you can say, yeah, because it's just to me, it's just so much enjoyment now that I am having, that it's like, it's just like, wow. Every relationship that I have now is, it's a reflection of me, to be honest. Really, honestly, I see myself in them. They see themselves in me. It's like we won. It's like, and did I have to be selective? Very selective. Very. Nothing personal. But it's paid off. And now I'm getting the results. Because I've done the work. Period. Done the work. Continue working, of course. But I have done the work. I have put it into practice. And I have followed my face many times. But that, I'm thankful for all the mistakes, because it's made me for who I am today. And I will celebrate that now. I will celebrate this new version of me.
Me too.
Yeah, I really do. This is, I'm coming with a whole new flavor now. I'm coming with a whole new, a new perspective, new ideas, new everything, environment, how I'm just enjoying everything. It's just, yeah, wonderful. People are excited to meet me. It's like, wow. Yeah, excited, thrilled, paid money. Yeah. To come see me, be with me. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So all the rejection, all the abandonment, and all the, you know, people that weren't strong enough, they weren't equipped. Period. They weren't equipped to handle. Always suppressing, always telling you, you know, you got to be like this, you got to be like that. And people have to be very careful what they project on other people. bringing the best out of someone. It's drawing out the best. That is what education is. Educata means bring out forth. Bring out forth. Everyone is genius. Bring it out. Allow it to come out. But it's competition, like you say, it's jealousy. It's, and then you want to feel bad because, oh, you got this and they don't have that. Like, oh, no. More than enough. There's more than enough. There's more than enough. You can have as much as you want. But if you're stingy and you're holding on to everything, you're not going to get anything. You know? More than enough. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
Well, people, I'm going to make an exit for the day.
Yeah, me too. I've got a lot happening myself. So listen, thanks, Emil. See ya.
Hey, have a
Thanks,
good
guys.
time in Greece.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to. It's going to be fab. Thank you. Bye for now.
Okay. Hmm. So interesting. I'm always fascinated by what comes up and when. It's like, oh my goodness. Hmm. Yeah, mistakes are valuable. Miscues. So life is so experimental right now. Uh, yeah, I just gotta laugh. Oh boy.
And that's all we can do with it. Yeah? Make a move and see the results.
Yep. Yeah, make a move and watch for the feedback.
Yeah.
Sometimes the feedback is really amusing though.
That's right.
Oh boy.
All right, man. Well, anything else?
Yeah, this just came to me, so I'm going to share it for today. Walk in newness. Walk in newness.
Nice.
Whatever that may be.
That's right.
And I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Walk in newness. Yeah. Okay, big love, Jesse.
All right. You too, Craig.